Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 14th, and June Kyle Schwarber might have finally arrived, and Kevin Biggio is headed to the Dodgers. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? The end of the week here. It's Friday. And yeah, we got to talk about a few things happening across the league here. Kyle Schwarber, a little bit of Kevin Biggio talk, some Jorge Lopez talk. Is he back? All of this and more for today's episode here. I hope you guys had a wonderful week and have a wonderful weekend planned, potentially at a ballpark, watching a game. Whatever you guys are up to, though. The NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs are almost over, which means baseball is going to be one of the main and only sports watched. But of course, Euro is starting today as well. That is going to be exciting for you fans out there, because I know soccer really brings the world together. And although it is just Euros, I'm very excited for those as well. So that is a sport talk there. Now let's dive into the baseball talk and, of course, start things off with our series recap. Leading us off, we've got the Oilers and Rays from the weekend set. After the O's have taken all three versus the Rays, they look for the 4-game sweep Monday, and it starts off well with Gunnar Henderson hitting a leadoff home run to get things started. James McCann would join him later on, and then Ryan O'Hearn would drive in 3 runs later in this game to put the Oilers out of the way. They come out of the drop and sweep the 4-game set. They beat the Rays 5-2, and sticking with them now, we've got the Braves and the Oilers as they've headed home from Tampa, and they're taking on the Braves. They host them, and they've been on a bit of a skid lately, so this is a good chance for Baltimore, as Jorge Mateo hits a 3-run home run in the second. Suarez and the O's pen blanks the Braves. They take the opener and win it 4-0 after Matt Olson ties the second game up with his 8th of the year. His 10th home run of the year. The Oilers took the lead right back with Colton Cowser hitting his 8th home run of the year. That leads to another Oilers win as they beat the Braves, who have now lost 5 straight games. But the Braves on a bit of a skid. It's the first time they've lost 5 straight games since 2017. That is crazy. The O's win that game 4-2. But for the final game, Ronaldo Lopez, he continues to pitch well for the Braves. He shoves for 6 scoreless innings. The Braves took a 4-run lead, added 2 insurance runs in the 9th after Kyle Stowers made it a 1-run game with his first home run of the year. The Braves hang on, they win it, and avoid the sweep, ending that 5-game losing streak, beating the O's 6-3. Phillies and Red Sox now. It was only a matter of time before the June Kyle Schwarber showed up. He crushes 2 home runs in the game. He's back in Boston, his 12th and 13th home runs of the year. The Phillies take the first game, beating them 4-1. Then the Phillies had a 4-run lead early in Game 2, but a 5-run inning for the Red Sox in the 5th turned this game around, and then later on that inning was followed up by David Hamilton's 4th home run of the year. The Red Sox even up this series. They win it 8-6. And for the rubber match, Boston comes out swinging, scoring 4 runs in the second. A bases-clearing double from Kyle Schwarber made it a 1-run game, but then Boston had another 4-run inning in the 4th, including Tyler O'Neill and his 12th home run of the year. The Red Sox win it and take 2 of 3 from the Phillies as they beat them 9-3. Cubs and Rays now. The Cubs were in cruise control in this game all the way up till the 9th inning before things got away from them. The Rays tied the game on a Jose Caballero single, and then Brandon Lau ended things, a 3-run walk-off home run to win it, as his home run makes it a 4-run inning for Tampa. They win the first game in walk-off fashion 5-2. Game 2, it would be a home run day as the Cubs get home runs from Seiya Suzuki and Cody Bellinger. The Rays get them from Jose Siri and Jose Caballero. In the end, the Cubs had more runners on for their home runs. Cody Bellinger, the 3-run shot. They win it and even up the series 4-3. In the 5th inning in this one, the Cubs used small ball as 3 bunts back-to-back scored 2 runs and give them the lead, but it would only last a couple of innings as in the 7th, the Rays scored 3 runs and they took the lead on a Yandy Diaz single. They hold the Cubs from there. The Rays take the rubber match and win 2 of 3 from the Cubs in the series. They beat them 3-2. Yankees and Royals now. The Yankees and Royals for 4. Right now, Carlos Rodon goes 7 innings, giving up 1 run as the Yankees got to Seth Lugo and scored 4 runs off of him. The Yankees hold on and take the first of 4, beating the Royals 4-2. For Game 2, it's Austin Wells, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton who all go deep in this one. Things were all New York, and they end up with another win, beating the Royals 10-1. The third game would have another 3 Yankee home runs, Jose Trevino, Giancarlo Stanton again, and Gleyber Torres, as the Yankees scored double-digit runs in back-to-back games and take the third game of the series 11-5. And for the final game, the Yankees scored 3 runs in the 8th to come back and take the lead, looking for that 4-game sweep. But in the 9th, the Royals said no to that, as Maikel Garcia walked it off with a 2-run double to win the game for the Royals, who end up salvaging the series, taking 1 of the 4 and avoiding the sweep in walk-off fashion there. They win it 4-3. Rockies and Twins now. It's a nice start from the Sheriff, Chris Paddock. Royce Lewis hits a home run later that would do the Rockies in as they shut out the Twins, take the opener 5-0. For Game 2, it's a 3-run home run from Ezekiel Tovar and a solo shot from Ryan McMahon late. That would be the difference as the Twins try to come back with a couple of home runs from Buxton and Carlos Santana, but they come up short. The Rockies even up the series, winning it 5-4. And then the final game, the rubber match, this one would be crazy. The Twins would start it with 5 runs in the first, add 3 more in the 4th, and at one point be up 7 runs after another Royce Lewis home run in the series. But the Rockies stayed in this one and quietly crept up, turning that 7-run lead into a 2-run lead for the Twins. However, they then ran away with it in the 8th as they added 7 more runs to once again blow open this game. The Twins score 17 runs on 24 hits to win this game and take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. They beat them 17-9. Nationals and Tigers now. The Nats had a 3-run lead, but it was erased after a Riley Green hit a Little League inside the park grand slam home run, clearing the bases with a triple and then coming home to score on an error for the lead. The Nationals would tie it and send it to extras though, as they would score a run on a sac fly, and then Kyle Finnegan, who was in the game, held the Tigers in their half, resulting in the Nationals win as they take the first game 5-4. For the second game, the Nationals had built a 4-run lead with the help of CJ Abrams hitting a home run, and from there the Tigers only scored a couple of runs. The Nats would just answer, and they hold on to beat them once again, taking another game 7-5. And then in another close game here, tied in the 7th, the Tigers would be the ones to blow it open. They score 5 runs in the inning to take the last game and avoid the sweep to the Nationals. They win it 7-2. White Sox and Mariners, and the White Sox in this one had a 4-run lead built by Luis Robert Jr. and Corey Julks. Both of them hit home runs there. The Mariners then tied the game in the 8th, scoring 4 runs in the inning, including Dominic Canzone's 6th home run of the year. And then in the 9th, Cal calls game. The big dumper, Cal Raleigh, crushes the walk-off grand slam home run in the crazy turn of events. The Mariners score 4 in the 8th and 4 in the 9th to come back and win the first of 4 in walk-off Grand Slam fashion. 8-4 Mariners there. And then the game 2, Cal continues his heroics. As the Mariners were down 2 in this one, Cal would get an RBI double to make it a 1-run game. And then later on, he had another at-bat, and it's a 2-run double to give the Mariners the lead. And that was the difference in this ball game here, as he helps them win another one. Mariners take it 4-3. 1-0 Seattle in game number 3. We head to the 9th. Luis Robert Jr. gets used off the bench in the 9th and crushes the game-tying home run pinch hitter bomb from him. That sends us to extras, but the Mariners do hang on. They hold the White Sox in the 10th, and then Mitch Haniger gets the walk-off single. The Mariners take a 3rd straight game, beating the White Sox 2-1. And for the final game, Luis Robert Jr. gets another home run as he homers and goes deep in 3 of the 4 games in the series. Andrew Vaughn joins him for his 8th of the year, which brings us to the 9th, where it's the man himself, Julio, hitting the game-tying home run to send us to extras as the White Sox score a run, and then they have Banks close out the Mariners. They hold them in the bottom of the 10th and get his 2nd save on the year. The White Sox salvage the series. They get a win in extras and avoid the 4-game sweep to the Mariners. They beat them 3-2. Your final. Marlins and Mets now. The Marlins scored 2 in the 5th to take the lead, and they would not lose it but add as they get an insurance run in the 9th. Just to be safe, they take the opener, beating the Mets 4-2. For game 2, it's Harrison Bader, it's Starling Marte, it's Francisco Lindor, who all homer in this one. The Mets take over their 2nd game, resulting in the win to even up the series. 10-4 your final. And for the final game, the Marlins had the lead with solo shots from Jake Berger and Jazz Chisholm, but later on, down 1 in the 9th, it would be JD Martinez who calls game, hitting a 2-run walk-off home run for the win. The Mets take 2 of 3 in the series, and they win the last game on a walk-off home run by JD Martinez. 3-2 your final. Blue Jays and Brewers now. The Brewers get to Barrios in the first game. A couple of solo shots from Jackson Chourio and Willy Adames. They end up with the win. Brewers take it 3-1. For game 2, it's Yusei Kikuchi and the Jays bullpen that blanks the Brewers as they get a couple of RBI singles in this game to win it. Jays even up the series 3-0 there. And for the final game, Davis Schneider hits a 1st inning home run for the Jays. Later on, though, the Brewers score 5 runs in the 6th, with Willy Adames hitting a 2-run shot. The Blue Jays had some fight late, scoring 3 runs in the 9th and looking for the 4th to tie it, but come up short as their comeback is stopped by the Brewers, who take 2 of 3 in this series and beat the Blue Jays 5-4. Guardians and Reds now. The Reds go for a bullpen game as they use 7 pitchers in the game. However, the Guardians scored 3 runs in the 3rd and added insurance later with Josh Naylor going deep. The Guardians take the game 5-2. And for the second and other game, Yammer Candelaria was the factor in this game as he hit 2 home runs in the game, making up all the Reds' runs, while Adolo gave it all he had for 6 innings. As the 2 Ohio teams split the 2-game set 1 each, the Reds take the 2nd game 4-2. Pirates and Cardinals now. The pitchers duel to open up this series between Paul Skeens and Miles Mikolas, with the only runs in this game coming in the 9th, as the Pirates scored 2 runs on a fielder's choice and a sac fly, while the Cardinals get 1 on a Nolan Gorman home run, and that would be it. The Pirates hang on and they take the opener 2-1 there. Game 2, it's Sonny Gray who goes 7 innings punching out 9 as his offense gave him enough cushion, scoring 4 runs in a 3-inning span. Good enough for the win as the Cardinals even up the series 4-2. And for the rubber match, Paul Goldschmidt and Brendan Donovan both homer for the Redbirds in this one as they hang on to win another one. The Cardinals take it and take 2 of 3 from the Pirates in the series. They win it 4-3. Angels and D-backs. Now the D-backs scored in 5 of the 8 innings they played in. Grichuk homered. Both Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had 2 RBIs each. They beat the Angels easily 9-4 there. For game 2, it's Zach Neto and Joe Adell who both go deep for the Angels, as Soriano goes 8 innings giving up a pair of home runs, but that would be all as the Angels even up the series. They win it 8-3. And then the D-backs put on the pressure early in the final game. Christian Walker hits 2 home runs in the first 3 innings. Later on, Jock Peterson hits a grand slam, but at this point the game was already in the D-backs' favor as they end up with the win and take 2 of 3 against the Angels in the series. They beat them 11-1. Your final. A's and Padres now, as the first game has Jake Cronenworth and Fernando Tatis Jr. both homering in this one, as a 3-run 7th inning for the Padres helps put this one out of way. They take it 6-1. After Tyler Soderstrom tied the game with his 2nd home run of the series, that brought us to the 9th tied, but it'd be Kyle Higashioka who was the hero as he crushes his 5th home run of the year to walk it off for the Padres as they win this game in walk-off fashion 4-3. And for the final game, Donovan Solano and Jackson Merrill both homered early for the Padres, and they both homered later for the Padres. After the A's scored 4 unanswered runs to take the lead, Donovan Solano went deep again to tie it, and then Jackson Merrill hit the walk-off home run, his 2nd of the game, to win it for the Padres, as those two combined for 4 home runs and helped the Padres win the game and sweep the Oakland A's as they take the series 5-4. Your final there. Rangers and Dodgers. The Dodgers open the series with power and home runs as they hit 4 home runs in 1 inning, where they scored 7 runs in that inning. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, and Jason Hayward. Will Smith also homered in the game. He homered in the first, and his 3-run first inning home run was the difference in this game. Actually, the Dodgers destroy the Rangers and take the first game 15-2. Corey Seager is back in Dodger Stadium for the first time since signing with the Rangers, and his 3-run home run in this game was the difference as the Rangers even up the series with the win 3-2. And for the final game, the Rangers scored 2 in the first, and from there had Michael Lorenzen, David Robertson, and Kirby Yates hold the Dodgers to just 1 run. David Robertson struck out Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman in the same inning in 2 of the 3 games. He also did it in the second game. He's the only pitcher this year to have done that, and he's done it twice. The Rangers take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers and win it 3-1. Lastly, now we have the Astros and the Giants tied at 1. This game headed to extras where the Astros scored 2 in the 10th. The Giants, though, answered with 3, getting the walk-off hit from Austin Slater as his single wins it for the Giants. They take the opener in walk-off fashion in extras 4-3. The difference in the second game in this one came off the bat of the soon-to-be free agent Alex Bregman, as his 2-run single would help the Astros get the win to even up the series. They take it 3-1. And for the rub match, the Giants get to Framber Valdez. They score 2 in the 3rd and 3 in the 4th off of them, as their 5 runs were good enough to get them the win. They take 2 of 3 from the Astros in the series. The Giants beat them 5-3. All right, moving on, we have our game of the week, and I'm taking you guys to San Diego because not every day you get a game like you did to end off their series here. Bottom of the second, Donovan Solano hits a solo shot, his 2nd of the year. That makes it 1-0 San Diego. We now jump to the bottom of the 5th, where Jackson Merrill hits his 4th home run of the year. Another solo shot makes it 2-0 San Diego. From there, we now head to the top of the 6th, where Oakland takes over. Tyler Soderstrom, a single. He had a big series in this series as well. It makes it 2-1. Then Shea Langelares, his single makes it 2-2. And then Seth Brown singles on a bunt ground ball. That makes it 3-2 Oakland in the inning. Top of the 8th, Zach Geloff, he doubles in the run to make it 4-2 Oakland. And when things are looking at your worst, it's the same 2 guys from before. The bottom of the 8th, Donovan Solano's 2nd home run of the game, his 3rd of the year. That ties it, a 2-run shot, 4-4 there. And then in the bottom of the 9th, it's Jackson Merrill again, his 5th of the year, 2nd of the game. A walk-off home run wins it for the San Diego Padres. They sweep this series. What a game and what a series for the Padres. Jax Merrill, the youngest ever to hit a walk-off shot in a multi-home run game. That is your game of the week. Alrighty, now let's jump into the baseball news, and I want to start with Kyle Schwarber. June Schwarber is upon us. It's been a little late, but he is here, and he is ready to turn up for the month of June. I can tell you with near certainty, because it's just what Kyle Schwarber does. Kyle Schwarber, let's talk about him. Obviously a player who is known for his power. The guy is strong. He hits plenty of home runs. He's not an overall great player. He's not going to hit well for batting average or for, getting on base as often, but he will crush his home runs. He will go deep and hit plenty of them in the progress. But there's something special about when the calendar becomes June, because that is when Kyle Schwarber is at his absolute best and foremost, just overall in general. Taking a look at his splits here, the month of June across his career, so we're talking about all the way back to 2016 with the Cubs, across his career, June Kyle Schwarber has an OPS of 928. I want to focus on the OPS just so it's one stat that we're looking at, one number here. His OPS there, 928 for the month of June. His next OPS, his next best one, comes in August at 880. His worst OPS comes at the beginning of the year in the April-March month, which is at 740. So the difference between his best month of June at 928 and his worst month of April/May at 740 is 0.188 OPS. That is, a small difference, but it is still a tremendous difference, especially when you start looking at other players. I'm sure if you go through a bunch of different players, you can find big differences here. But just to show you, I picked the GOAT, Mike Trout, over his huge career, his long career right now. His best OPS is also in the month of June at 1.022. His worst is in August at .959. The difference there, 0.063. So the difference between Kyle Schwarber's best and worst and Mike Trout's best and worst, you're going from 0.188 to 0.063. It's a huge difference, nearly a 0.12 difference that Kyle Schwarber has in between his best and worst month. He becomes the most efficient home run hitter in the history right now, averaging a home run every 10.4 at-bats. That is better than Babe Ruth, who averaged 10.6 at-bats in the month of June in his career. Last season in 2023, Kyle Schwarber had a 2-home run game on June 4th. That led to a 14-game stretch featuring 7 home runs and a 1.126 OPS. In 2022, he had a 2-homer game on June 3rd, in which he then hit 12 home runs for the month. And then in 2021 as well, he had a slow start to June, kind of like he did this year. He had a pair of home runs on June 13th. That kick-started a hot streak. He hit 15 home runs in 16 games. Of course, that was when he was with the Nationals and then was later traded to the Boston Red Sox that year. So basically, Kyle Schwarber's formula is enter the month of June, hit 2 homers, and then become a god for the rest of the month. Well, it is June. He hit 2 home runs, and 2 days later, he's hitting a bases clearing double. He's had a good series here in Boston, and in my mind, I think Schwarber is about to take off. So if you're a betting man, start betting on the overs for Schwarber. If you're a fantasy guy and for some reason he's in free agency, pick him up, throw him on your team. Kyle Schwarber is about to go on a tear for the remaining 2 weeks here in the month of June. That's my call. That's my prediction. You go off the numbers. You go off the history. Something about the month of June gets Kyle Schwarber right. And this is kind of what the Phillies might need. Not that they needed anything right now because things have been going well for them. But of course, with JT Realmuto now out, we'll be talking about that in the injury updates. It's going to be big for Schwarber to be, playing his best. So June Schwarber is officially here. Moving on now, the Twins have shown off their City Connect jerseys. I believe they are debuting them today, and I like them. I don't hate them. That's kind of my usual tale with the City Connect jerseys. I do have one issue though with the City Connects as a whole, and it's kind of been the running joke on the internet now. Hey, do you want a black and blue City Connect? Yes, because a lot of them have just been black and blue. The Minnesotas, it's very similar to kind of what the Phillies were, kind of similar to the Brewers, just a very bright blue color with some yellow highlights in. Obviously, each city has their own different meanings why they're using these colors, but so many of them, especially this year, have been just dark blacks, dark blues, light blue, like a prominent blue color or a black color, and whatever other highlights they want to add and incorporate. But it would be nice to get some brighter colors, some whites in there, some diversity in a way. Pittsburgh's bright yellow, those ones are cool. I like those ones. They're very shiny. San Diego, their peachy cream color with the pink and green neon highlights throughout, that's one of my favorites. And some of them work. The Blue Jays, the black one, really strong there. But when you look across the league at the Tigers and some of the other ones, we're getting very similar looking City Connects. And realistically, the whole point was to make each one super different and unique and diverse for their city. Obviously 30 teams, you'd expect some color overlap, but I feel like this one has been a little bit too much. I saw the Twins and I'm like, these are just the Phillies. The hat is very cool. I gotta say, I love the Minnesota Twins hat there that they have there for the City Connect. And the photos, I'm sure, like I said, once they're actually wearing it, everyone looks good in their City Connects, whether it's just plain black and blue or whatever the colors are. I think the City Connects are good jerseys that look good on the players. The photos that featured Royce Lewis, Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, they all looked good in it. They looked happy in them. And I'm sure they're going to play well in them. And right now they're trying to trace the Royals and Guardians. So the Twins need every kind of good luck magic they can. So maybe the City Connects will help them out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special, but if you're in Minnesota and you love them, that's all that matters there. Kevin Biggio, he was DFA'd by the Blue Jays. They also DFA'd Daniel Vogelbach today. They brought back Addison Barger, I believe is the name. But yeah, so Vogelbach DFA'd. Biggio was DFA'd a little bit longer ago, and he was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Blue Jays are getting a right-handed reliever, Braden Fisher, who has been in AA and AAA this year, and Biggio is no longer a Blue Jay. He's been a Dodger. He played 2 games. He played the other 2 games of the Texas Rangers series, in which he is 1 for 4 with a walk, got a single, and he's made a couple nice plays on defense. He also has an error in his 2 games. He's been playing third base in both games that he got to play in. So we'll see how that is going forward here, of course. But Biggio, he had an okay time with Toronto. We kind of went over his numbers a little bit when we talked about the DFA. Finished 5th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2019. Arguably his best year across a full season. COVID year was still really good for him. 2021 and 2022 were his worst years. 2023 he kind of bounced back a little bit, and then this year he's just been kind of hovering in the middle ground. The Blue Jays have some kids. They have some holes to fill. Biggio hadn't been helping them out, so the DFA him, sent over the Dodgers. So we'll see kind of what happens there. Biggio said in a quote that he's, very grateful for the Dodgers to have taken him up and fortunate and grateful to be there. So hopefully things will go well for Biggio in his new Dodger blue, and we'll see kind of what leads there. And then in other signing news, Jorge Lopez is signing, or George Lopez, however you want to, I don't know if I can say George Lopez. Jorge Lopez is signing a minor league deal with the Cubs. Of course, this is very interesting. He was with the Mets. We know the story of what happened. His comments get taken out of context, makes him look like a bad guy, hating on his team, and the Mets say bye-bye to that. So he is going to get a chance now with the Cubs potentially. He still has some good stuff. He still is a good pitcher. He's just going to be in the minor leagues for a little bit here, I guess, while the Cubs, make room, find a way to get him onto the team. I'm expecting he'll be up at some point in the rest of the year. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see what the Cubs' plan is with him going forward. So yeah, that is the update there on Jorge Lopez. And we will now look for our injury updates for the week here. Of course, I mentioned when talking about Schwarber, about JT Realmuto, he is going down with right knee pain. He's gotten surgery for it. And he will miss some time here, so that's a bit of a blow for the Phillies there. Other news, Javier Baez has lumbar spine inflammation. So he lands himself on the IL there. Joey Gallo has a strained hamstring and lands on the IL. And then Hunter Renfroe with your Royals fractured his toe, and he will be on the IL for a little bit there. So that is your injury updates there. Nothing too crazy, but a couple of things that may affect a couple of teams there. Outstanding performances. I've shrunken the list this week, and we're going to try to keep it like this going forward, try to get some structure in place here. So for the outstanding performances for the week here, Paul Skeens, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks. Miles Mikolas, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. That was that pitcher's duel in St. Louis. Bryce Miller with your Mariners, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. Ronaldo Lopez, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 8 Ks. Alec Marsh, 7 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Taj Bradley, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 11 Ks. And then Garrett Crochet, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 13 Ks. He has been on a tear, striking people out in the starts he has been making recently. So those are your outstanding performances. Outstanding is the right word for sure there. Moving on now, we have our stat leaderboard, looking at the changes. Not too many changes, just different numbers here. So average, new guy, Bobby Witt Jr. is now leading the league with 330 average. But Luis Arias still leads the league in hits with 94. Judge has expanded onto his league of home runs. He's gone from 21 to 25 now, and has tied Jose Ramirez with RBIs. They both have 62 RBIs on the year so far. Runs, Bobby Witt Jr. still takes the cake with 59. Walks, Aaron Judge still with 55. Stolen bases, Eddie De La Cruz with 34. And then OPS, it is still Aaron Judge, a 1.118. He's gone up from last week. Pitching stats. The wins, it is now no longer a tie between Ranger Suarez and Seth Lugo. Ranger Suarez is the full possession of wins on the year. He has 10 wins on the year. And ERA, there's a new guy in town, Ronaldo Lopez from your Braves. Now leads the league in ERA. He's got a 1.69 there. For strikeouts, Tyler Glasnow, of course, has been it. It is now Tyler Glasnow and Garrett Crochet. That 13K game that he had helped bring him up to 116, tied with Glasnow. They both have the same amount. And lastly, saves. Ryan Helsley still on top there now with 22 saves to his name. That is your stat leaderboard update there. We look now to our upcoming series. We are taking a look at the weekend set here. The Phillies and the Oilers, two of the top teams from your from your East divisions, AL East and NL East. Phillies and Oilers get started there. Yankees and Red Sox, the rivalry begins here. Guardians and Blue Jays. A's at Twins, Tigers at Astros, Rangers at Mariners. That's a big series there. Rays at Braves, Padres at Mets, Marlins at Nationals, Cardinals at Cubs, Reds at Brewers, Pirates at Rockies, Angels at Giants, Royals at Dodgers, and lastly, the White Sox and the Diamondbacks get a series going there. Playoff predictor. time for that, and that will bring us to our close here. So if the postseason started today, the Twins would take on the Mariners, 6-seeded Twins, 3-seeded Mariners, and then the Royals and the Oilers in the wild card matchup. I feel like that's been the wild card matchup for a good couple of weeks now, and the Twins and the Royals upset the Mariners and O's. They head to the ALDS. Twins at Guardians, Royals at Yankees. That's 3 AL Central teams, but 2 of them are out as the Twins upset the Guardians, but the Yankees beat the Royals. So we have a ALCS matchup between your Minnesota Twins and your New York Yankees. We've seen this matchup in series plenty of times over the last couple of years, and of course the Yankees will beat the Twins and head to the World Series. On to the NL side of things, it's the Giants and the Brewers. Giants in the 6 seed, Brewers in the 3. Padres, the 5 seed, the Braves, the 4 seed. It's the Brewers and the Padres that get past the Giants and Braves. They head to the NLDS. Brewers and Dodgers. Padres at Phillies. We've seen that matchup before recently. The Brewers beat the Dodgers. The Phillies beat the Padres. We head now to the NLCS between the Brewers and the Phillies, and it's your Brewers that beat the Phillies. Can they finish their Cinderella story run though? Brewers and Yankees, the 2024 World Series matchup, and it is your Milwaukee Brewers who would win the 2024 World Series if it started today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you everybody so much for listening. I appreciate you all so much. Go and enjoy your weekend. Go and watch some Euros. Go and see if the Mavericks or Edmonton Oilers can make a comeback in their series. Watch some baseball, of course, and have your guys a wonderful week. And thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you on Monday.